Game number 2 of this other best of 5. In the bottom right as the blue Protoss, he is MaxPax. In the top left as the red Terran, it is Liquid Clem. So, we did not see the first game, but I can tell you what it was. MaxPax tried to proxy Void Royale in Clem, and Clem ended up holding. So, pretty quick game, about 8 minutes. Now, in game number 2, we have MaxPax starting off things weird. Again, but not proxy weird. Low ground wall weird. He knows he's facing a Terran. He wants to get that Zealot across the very short map ASAP. So it's, I think this map is 6 seconds less than the next shortest map. And then on top of that, the gateway isn't here, so that's like an extra second, so pretty brutal, really. But is it brutal enough? I mean, Clem's gonna be SCV scouting this guy every time, because that makes a lot of sense. And the Zealot is not a big deal. The Zealot is taken care of by the Reaper, especially if the Reaper knows to look for the Zealot. And then if it's buying enough time to build the bunker, all is well and good. Although MaxPax is not even bothering to go into a very fast follow-up unit. Stargate follow-up to that, so I'm not sure if MaxPax was gonna do more if he wasn't scouted, just by some miracle Clem didn't SCV scout, or if that's all he really wanted, but it's a bit odd. Now the forward gateway is a bit vulnerable to some attacks. Early, mid, late, it's kind of vulnerable. Stargate's the follow-up, and the Reaper is going to get confirmation. MaxPax, I think, wanted to try and hide it, but it didn't really work out that way. At least kills the Reaper. Only one probe. But these guys did play a pretty cool game on Submarine last time I cast them. And very funky, very odd. MaxPax pseudo-successfully cannon rush, and then it led into like a 13-15 minute game. Up on my YouTube channel if you want to find it. I don't think it happens again. I mean, Clem not only is overall the better player, but I think does now have a really strong handle on MaxPax. I think he already knew who he was and what he would do, but it's different from knowing and then actually playing against the guy. So I'm pretty sure Clem is onto his tricks. He's not going to have such a wonky game. Third CC. Wow. Feels bold to do that on Submarine against a guy like MaxPax, but he does know it's a Stargate opener. And we've talked about this before, but Stargate openers don't really give a lot of chances for the Protoss player to do damage. They harass, but they don't stop third CCs. They don't stop a game. They just harass and maybe build up a lead. So you can get away with the third CC. If this was a Twilight Council, who knows if it's a 4-gate blink build that could actually kill him. If this was a Robo, what if it's like charge that all in or some shit? Like, yeah, that's scary. Phoenixes aren't that scary. Getting a Viking has a Cyclone. 2 units very helpful against that. Might eventually grab a couple missile turrets as well. And maybe even scan MaxPax to make sure he's not getting like a second Stargate, something wonky like that. It is, right now, just Phoenix Immortal with very little technology besides that. I'm not sure I like it. MaxPax not yet finding any damage. Getting some scouting, that's always nice. But he sees a tank, a lot of production on the way. I don't think he really needs to build an Immortal right now, is what I'm kind of concerned about. I feel like MaxPax is building an army that is set up defensively soon. And it's like, I don't think he has to be defensive anytime soon. I'm kind of surprised based off his scouting, he doesn't grab a faster third Nexus. Now he does, and it's not like it's the latest thing ever, but yeah, I'm still a little bit surprised by that. It can be tricky watching the Terrans with this set of units, but I think it's only tricky when you can only see the units. Like, if you see a tank and a Cyclone and a Viking, they could be building another tank, Cyclone, Viking, and they could be moving out with 5 SCVs. That does happen. But because the Phoenixes were getting such good scouting on their actual production as well, Maybe missed opportunity there from MaxPax, maybe. I'm like this, an anti-fan of this Immortal. Alright, Colossus Phoenix. That is what we expect. That is what Clem should be expecting. What to expect when you're expecting. Expect laser beams. Marine Scouts, the Nexus. Not much else to be done there. We're waiting for Clem's first push, which should be coming soon. He's going to have Stim and Combat Shields and Medivacs. He's going to have faster upgrades, but those won't actually come into play for another minute. It's kind of something you have to accept when you go Phoenix Colossus. They're not going to have really the fastest, bestest upgrades. Maybe a faster single forge if you're feeling frisky. That did not go so well. Wood of Mines were not anticipated from MaxPax. He loses an Observer, I think, again. That's his first Observer loss, actually. But losing 4 Phoenix kind of sucks. You did not really get a successful trade for that. So, right. Yeah, you don't have that good of upgrades. And you don't have a lot of technology for your ground army. You don't have Blink or Charge when you go Phoenix Colossus, but you do have that flexibility, that harassment, and hopefully 1 or 2 big units, the Colossus themselves, that can guard against attacks thanks to shield batteries and force fields. But yeah, you don't really have upgrades, and it's not like he also got like a particularly well-timed third. It was okay, not great. I just feel like Clem got all the advantages with his opener. Let's see how the Wood of Mines do. Like, Wood of Mines can screw Clem over and it's certainly not just a push to win. With the force fields being scary, with the pickups being scary, the Phoenixes could literally take all the Wood of Mines and the tank out of the equation. Clem chooses not to engage. He knows that MaxPax will just run back to a shield battery that's overcharged, and even if he does find a decent start, it's probably not going to be an actual finisher. MaxPax adds on a second Stargate and goes into +1 flyer weapons. Not what I was expecting. And yet, I'm still okay with it, because MaxPax. Ghost Academy's out on the way. 2-2 has started about the same time that MaxPax finally starts his single upgrade. So, let's count that 4th base. Clem, I mean, it's fine. It's like, seeing that 4th base, maybe your gut instinct is to go to kill it, but why bother killing it now? Wait for your 4th CC to be planted as a planetary, wait for your ghosts, wait for your Vikings, and he will have the superior army. The supplies might not be all that different, but the composition will be quite supreme there for Clem, and he'll also have the better upgrades. I think we need to wait another minute and a half for a maxed out push and see if MaxPax can actually hold against that. The baits! The bait was real. The baits. That was 3 Wood of Mines. One of them didn't actually shoot. We killed these 3 Phoenix. I was like, why are those units out there? And that's why they were literally bait. That was awesome. Didn't work out as well as he was hoping, but still cool nonetheless. Bit of a scouting pylon will alert MaxPax to them, the army moving to the left, so he's got to reposition, defend his 4th base. It's done. He can't do a quick and easy cancel. Force field to buy some time. What are the Phoenix really going to do here? 10 Phoenix, potentially EMP'd. We do not have the upgrade for EMP, but one hits most of the Phoenix regardless. Viking count's really quite good. 10 Vikings to now 8 Phoenix. Clem's army is supposed to just be superior. He's about to have 2-2, even working on +1 weapons of his own. For his Vikings, a single Phoenix misrallied. MaxPax realizes he could not hold on to that 4th, but it sucks that he actually tried to do so in the first place. You'd rather just sacrifice it and let it go than try and hold it and not be able to. 1 Colossus goes down as the Phoenixes were not protecting it. Another EMP just to make sure, trying to get those force fields, not quite getting it, but they're also not going down. And this is a wide arc for Clem's army. 70 supply, 80 supply lead for our Terran. MaxPax is not going to be able to hold. GG. And not the most interesting PvT there. Ugh. I went for a run today, and it was actually quite tiring. I usually do running and weightlifting, but I usually want to weightlift first and then run, but there was people at the gym, and they weren't supposed to be. Because we have, like, the whole sign-up thing. You sign up in advance for an hour block at a time, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. And these people were there from 10:30 to 11:30, and I was like, motherfucker. But anyways, they were hogging all of the weights. 2 of them. Hogging all of the weights and being fucking loud. You're not supposed to have fun at the gym, god darn it. But no, they were just really loud. But at least they cleaned their weights, alright? But yeah, it sucks, because running first and then weightlifting doesn't really give you good weightlifting. There's my mini rant complaint of the day. And now we move on to game 3. Oops. In the top left of Death Aura, we have the MaxPax. In the bottom right, as the Red Terran, we have Liquid Clem. So, MaxPax opens last game with that forward gateway. Didn't really end up doing anything bad, negative because of the positioning of it, but it did open up with a Zealot that did nothing. So, wasn't, like, literally from the very get-go was not a very good start for MaxPax. But while I don't think his composition is necessarily that bad, Phoenix Colossus, totally a thing, I do think that he didn't really utilize the scouting, and I could be wrong about this. MaxPax is absolutely a better player than I am, and will ever be. But it did feel like he had so much scouting. So much. And we usually do see some risks taken in Starcraft, especially when you have good scouting. So if the Colossus player, we've seen this from literally with that same composition, if the Phoenix Colossus player says, oh my god, you have a 3rd CC, and they see it pretty quickly too. And they see it building. We have seen people throw down faster 3rd Nexus. He very much so could have skipped that Immortal and then made it later. So it's a faster 3rd Nexus. We see people add on a single Forge faster, or sometimes even double Forge it with Robo Openers, Stargate into Robo Openers. Those are the risks you can take, the things to be like, oh, okay, you're being greedy, I gotta be a little bit greedier as well. And I feel like MaxPax didn't do anything. He still did a build as if it was against an AI and nothing had happened. Nothing had been scouted. But perhaps I'm too critical on it. At the end of the day, I do think he had an inferior army. Not just because his upgrades were bad, but there wasn't any of the Archon, Storm, or Disruptor potential that can kind of make the Terran pick and choose what they're doing. Are they EMPing the Phoenix, or the Archons, or the Storms? Are they dodging out of the Warp Prism's way? Are they dodging out of the Disruptors, as I was thinking of? Nah, it was really just the complication is kind of the Phoenix part of the Colossus. The Phoenix Colossus, like, oh, who do I fire first? But Clem just had so much going well for him. He had so many Vikings that were easily taking care of that army. And he controls them so well as well. Like, a lot of people get lazy and he'll, oh yeah, well, I think the air army just beats them, but there's a lot that can be done with, like, backing away and shooting and back away and shooting, and of course having the Vikings on different hotkeys in their actual bio army, as well as ensuring that the Vikings are killing stuff before they're killing your stuff is, like, really important for Terran. A lot of Terran players leading up to GM and Master, or GM and Professionals, will just kind of say, oh, my army is bigger and better. Look how many Marauders I got, I'm so good. And then run in a concave, and you think, okay, that's actually pretty good, but really, they had plenty of opportunities to kill a Colossus or 2 Colossus with Vikings before their army even got shot. And that's what you want to do as Terran. And Clem has been very good about that in the past. So I think TLDR, MaxPax has to do something riskier and different and needs to actually make this game a kerfuffle. He needs to kerfuffle Clem. He needs to make it weird. He needs to make him make harsh decisions. Do I split? Do I EMP? Do I sacrifice my SCDs while I'm attacking you? I gotta do something. The MaxPax, another Stargate opener into a Robo. I don't know, he's gonna change here. Robotics Bay. I'm liking the signs of a third Nexus coming down, because Clem has once again gone for a faster third, has gotten enough units to successfully deflect the Phoenix, and then nothing much else. MaxPax has already seen that third CC, so I'd love a response of some sort to that. He's building the Immortal again, but why? But why? Nein! I don't know any words in Danish, so I'm gonna have to stick with German. I don't get it. Oh, I canceled it! Yes!
Apparently you are doing something right, Captain.
I like that. I like that so much more. Because really, it's like, I am totally willing to understand and, I guess, empathize, yeah, with the Immortal coming out when you don't see the production. When you say, oh my god, are they going to push me or not? But when you see the production alongside everything, when you see that the factory's building a reactor and not building another tank or another cyclone, that's when I'm like, no, you don't expect an attack. Like, just don't get that Immortal. So, okay, already one thing going a little bit better. I know I'm harping on it a lot, but I feel very much passion for that Immortal choice, alright? And maybe this game as well. He didn't open up with that start, or the Gateway and the Zealot. He also has yet to lose the Phoenix? Question mark? Oh, I'm so wrong. He already lost 2. Oh, shit. I was gonna say, hopefully he also loses less Phoenix, but, oopsie daisy. Observer in place to see the third CC moving out. I mean, I'm gonna have to see it to know it. And, this turret's coming down, protecting the Phoenix. We got ourselves a little stew going. MaxPax is once again going to be later to those upgrades, I say, as Clem has not yet started his. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Yeah, but still slower. Thank you, Flip a Flapjack, for the 2-month resub. Delicious brains. Ah, so you must love my pancake emote. Which is truly the inferior breakfast cake? Is that what we'd call it? If they're pancakes, I mean, what would the general term be for pancakes and waffles? What would you say describes both of them? Oh, the Wood Mines! Nicely done. 2 more Phoenix die. I should really highlight that Clem has been excellent with those Wood Mines. The trap in the middle of Submarine was awesome, and then hiding them even later on in the game when you don't really anticipate it. Every Protoss anticipates a hidden Wood Mine against an Oracle. Not many are anticipating hidden Wood Mines against Phoenix. Yeah, that's awesome. Anyways, pancakes are inferior to waffles, but you bitches voted for pancakes 5 years ago when I first got that emote. More Phoenix are on the way alongside the +1. It is very similar to last game. Clem's gonna have the 1-1 up against MaxPax's 0-0. Although I do believe Clem was a little slower with upgrade this game. Or Max was a little bit faster. I don't think it's as much of a difference, but it's still a pretty big difference. Vikings on the way, already quadruple building them, 2 starports available. I don't think you're gonna push into this. Deathor certainly has more defensive properties than Submarine. It's a bigger map, and it's got that high ground 4th base. With the 3rd Nexus already nice and protected with some static defense. No, it's not nice and protected. So MaxPax dealing with that first push, I mean, maybe a little bit better. It wasn't really that push that killed him. It was the push with like 12 Vikings that killed him. Going into a fleet beacon, we might see Anion Pulse Crystals. I don't know about going right into carriers, man. That's going to be tough to do against such a good player like Clem. Honestly, both options are really tough to do. Continuing to build Phoenix and trying to build carriers, like, both are going to be tough. MaxPax certainly has his own way to play in Starcraft 2. Fourth on location, because Clem just, I think, feels very comfortable against MaxPax past a certain point. Like, you know, it's 2 minutes, maybe he's proxying you, but this makes sense. He's seen nothing to warrant aggression from the Protoss. And especially when he's got that last game to think back on and be like, oh yeah, he never pushed out at me, so. Fourth CC, definitely. And not even pushing out, like MaxPax hasn't even done like his little Zealot run by, because he's doesn't have charge. So a 5th CC, and once again a little squad of like, I think they're supposed to bait the Phoenix, but they did help against the Adept there too. The 4th CC as an orbital is a sign of a very confident Terran player. And I mean confident as in they're confident the Protoss isn't harassing. Not that they themselves are confident. They just think they know the Protoss. Although I'd also say Clem's pretty confident. But anyways, confident player. That is a lot of Phoenix, not giggity damn. I think you need a Thor for this. Where's the thermal doors? Ooh, the EMP, the dodge wave from the disruptors too. I didn't even realize there was a disruptor. I didn't even see that. Damn. Clem's army is like confused. It's like, well, we see no ground units, but many air. We win? Question mark? It was a good concave, it was a good dodge away from the first disruptor. Second one actually had a little bit of fire to it. Did some damage, but I think the Phoenix count was really just a big surprise. He had a lot last game too, but he didn't have 20. With Anion Pulse Crystals. And +1 actually finished. I think the game ended before that finished last game. So that was a bit of a surprise. And now Clem is going to have to rebuild that Viking count. Honestly, especially because carriers are all on the way, Thors wouldn't be a terrible idea. The real problem with that is that you're not going to have a lot of factory production as a Terran, so it's like a theory thing. Like, theoretically, you could try and add on Thors if you had factories, plural. But since you don't usually have factories, plural, in this matchup, especially if you don't open with the tank style, it's probably not going to happen. So instead, Terran players just go many Vikings, please. Many. Still don't have the EMP upgrade. I find that interesting. Oh, he did. He has started it. Wasn't really in a hurry to get there. MaxPax on 5 bases. Clem just now on 5 bases. We got 15 Phoenix to 13 Vikings. Not bad, but again, Clem doesn't want to actually engage these Colossus until he absolutely has to, unless he actually has a better concave, and this is actually the moment. He thinks it's time to go. Disruptor's not really getting any shots off. Guardian Shield is instantly bopped, and oh my god, is this a slaughter or what? The Phoenix numbers might be looking strong against the Vikings, and who the fuck cares about that? What about the ground army? What about the rest of the army? MaxPax's style is just not working against Clem. The Disruptor is going to bite the dust, and MaxPax, well, it looks like he's in an okay supply, is definitely not in an okay position. Fifth base wasn't necessarily the most important thing if he doesn't lose his army as well, but 94 workers certainly not mining sufficiently in this game. Or MaxPax. Clem on 5 bases, working on 6th, 7th, and 8th, is using 90 SCVs, which, by the way, I did not realize they both went up to 90 plus SCVs. That's kind of insane. But MaxPax, he's got one more shot maybe to get to that massive air army. It's a very slow building, very expensive army that I'm not sure he's going to be allowed time to get to. Clem is, if nothing else, he's quite aggressive. Maybe sometimes overly aggressive could be a problem, but you don't really depend on this guy to just sit back and go, well, hot diggity damn, I didn't kill him. Alright, no worries. I'll just chill. No, this guy doesn't chill. MaxPax's gonna have to sacrifice another base, and if this falls, this should also not be mining in anytime soon. The Disruptor! He gets 2 Marauders, that's it. And this one gets nada. 0. Clem has had no harassment. He's been able to focus entirely on the actual push. Another EMP, this time with the shockwaves. Takes out all of the carriers, or close to all of the carriers. Shields. Disruptor goes down. Good target fire. I'm starting to question the number of anti-air units right now for Clem, but I guess MaxPax is out of interceptors, so funnily enough, even though there's not a lot of anti-air, it might just work out for Clem. It does. GG. Well played from Clem. 3-0 against MaxPax and heads into the finals to face Hero Marine in a TvT. Awesome.